All new anime suck. If you ask any anime fan who's watched more than one show, what is the greatest anime ever? They have a tendency to say something like One Piece, Naruto, Code Geass, Death Note, or Steins Gate. And those are all good answers, but why not say Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, or Mob Psycho 100? Arguably more popular shows right now, but why aren't they considered great? Now keep in mind, I'm keeping a distinction between a show that's considered great and someone's favorite show. So is it a matter of time? Does the show need to be a certain length? Or be out for a certain amount of time, like 5 years, 10 years, or even 20? Or is it based off manga sales or monetary value of the IP? How in this day and age, where there's over 40 shows getting released a season, do we still barely ever get any that are considered good? Why do all new anime suck? There's plenty of arguments I see on the internet, like all new anime are just carbon copies of one another, where this anime is the same as this one, or this main character is the same as this main character. And it's true, most anime are building off previously successful shows. They see a genre or a trait that makes a show popular, and they try and replicate it over and over and over and over and over again. But if you were to really think about it, didn't that happen back in the day too, among the greats, but just on a smaller scale? Like, aren't the 4 most popular shonen of all time, Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, and Dragon Ball, just copies of each other with different colored hair? They all follow the same cookie-cutter formula. Hero starts off weak and slowly gets stronger, defeating bad guys as they try to become the Pirate King or the Hokage, or strongest ever. Isn't Death Note and Code Geass just the same show, but one has mechs and the other has demons? So it can't just be the fact that shows are copying each other, with just small deviations. Like the fact that these 2 shows are similar, just one has a reincarnated demon lord, the other demon lord never died, isn't the only factor that makes these shows worse than any other. So what about animation or art style? No. Just no. I won't even entertain the argument that the greats are great for their animation or art style. Because in no universe could you argue that this 2006 anime looks better than this random throwaway seasonal isekai. You could argue that Death Note has more character in its design and a lot more of a distinct look, but so does this anime. Surely I'm not going to make the argument that the greats don't have good story, or good character development, or an amazing narrative. And no, they all do. But so do a lot of newer shows. Take Promised Neverland Season 1 only. The animation is beautiful, characters are amazing, sound design is flawless, and the story is really compelling. But even then, after the hype it generated following its release, it really didn't become anything. Or what about Mushoku Tensei? Again, beautiful animation, in-depth characters, amazing story, and fan service. But aside from being popularized by only a select niche of anime fans, it'll never reach the same successes and notoriety as the greats. Even though Mushoku Tensei was the first light novel to popularize the genre of isekai, and a lot of the tropes we see today. Now, like I said before, we have over 40 new anime coming out every season, meaning watching all of them is basically a full-time job. So is this the problem? Is there just too many anime to choose from? And because of sheer volume, there is a perception of lower quality. It's simple supply and demand here. Now stick with me, let me put my useless business degree to use. The less there is of a product, or in this case a show, the more perceived value there'll be. Now on the opposite end, the more abundant something is, the less intrinsic value it'll have. Think about it like this. If you really love bananas, and that's the only food you'll eat, and I have the last banana on Earth, you're much more likely to do anything to get that banana. Compared to now where if I tried to sell you a banana, you'd be like, what the fuck, I'll just go to Costco and get literally any fruit. But in the first case, that banana is like the holy grail. You want it so bad, and once you get it, your satisfaction level will be tremendous. Compared to if you drove to Costco, bought an apple, and ate it, your life would remain unchanged. It's not like eating that apple made you extremely happy. So that must be it. There must be too many shows coming out this season of anime. Anime was a lot less common back in the 2000s, and that's why we remember them so fondly. But is that really the case? See, if you actually looked at the fall season of anime in 2006, when Death Note and Code Geass came out, there are over 50 new shows airing, and even more continuing, like Naruto and One Piece. Now, I think that's the issue. I bet everyone here thought that there were barely any anime coming out back then, and I was the same until looking it up. Now, it could be argued that there was no way of people in the West getting access to a lot of these, and I doubt you were using your dial-up internet to go on my anime list to check what's new. But I think that's the stem of this debate. Why do all new anime suck? Well, it's a combination of things. Most anime fans were a lot younger back then and view those animes in much more nostalgic ways. And then they hype it up so much to new anime fans who then have it as their first anime, which then makes them feel nostalgic towards it. I also think there's an issue with quality, but not with new anime. I think that new anime have gotten to a point where it's all good. To the point where an average show is rated a 7 out of 10, not a 5 out of 10. Compared to back then, if you looked at a list of all the shows, I bet you'll only recognize maybe 10. Because in early 2000s, when an anime is bad, it was bad. But do I believe all new anime suck? No. I honestly believe anime has gotten too good, to the point where our standards are way too high. If there isn't an insane fight scene every few episodes, we get bored. We have choice fatigue. Everything now is just at such a level where we'll feel the same watching one show compared to the other. And there's only really a few standouts like Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, do I think all old anime suck? Well, you'll have to wait for another video to hear that. But if you stayed this long, I appreciate you, and consider dropping a like and subscribing to support the small Anituber trying to make a dream come true. Anyways guys, thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day.